Today we're gonna make a Carmelita, which is a layered bar cookie that has a layer of like a light brown sugar and oat cookie that's pressed into the bottom with salted caramel and chocolate chips and then more of the cookie dough crumbled on top like a strudel, and it all bakes together into like a chewy, caramely, chocolatey, it's epic. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell icon to be notified each time I post a new and delicious recipe. Let's get into it. Carmelitas, fancy name for really, really easy and exponentially awesome. We are gonna put our flour, rolled oats. You wanna make sure that they are the rolled ones, not the quick oats. They'll be fine, but they won't give you as much texture. Light brown sugar, you could use dark if you'd like, if that's all you have. Kosher salt, and then our butter, okay? And we're gonna pop this in the bowl of our stand mixer. You could also melt the butter and then mix it by hand. And then we're gonna go ahead and just kind of mix that on low until we've cut in all of the butter. It's going to come together and make this nice dough. We're gonna add our vanilla, and life's gonna be good. In the meantime, we're gonna prepare our pan. We're gonna make this in an 8x8. And we are going to line it because I don't like fighting with things to come out of dishes. We're gonna lazy line though, because we're only gonna do like partially, so it's kind of like gonna like give us something to pull from. Give it a little spray at the bottom. Honestly, actually, let's spray the whole thing because we're not doing the whole, like we're not lining the whole dish, so it could just end in sadness and tears, and you know we don't do those here. And there we are. And now you see how it's lazy because it's like not really all the corners or anything. The mixture is not. I'm just gonna free some, there's some butter up here. I'm just gonna free it. Okay. And mix. Now the other components, the things that you want to be thinking about is chocolate chips. If you only have big ones, you might want to chop them because they don't melt quite as evenly if you don't chop them. It really doesn't, I mean, it's not that serious. Do whatever you want. And then you want some salted caramel sauce. Now this is my salted caramel sauce that I made using the wet method, which you can go ahead and check that video out. And then this is my vanilla that's gonna go in here. But that's, I mean, it's so simple. The ingredients are so easy and like simple and just, okay. So you can see that it's starting to come together. It's starting to kind of clump. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to add my vanilla, which is almost in some way acting as a wet ingredient here. Now it's not going to come together in like a ball per se, but you know, it will clump. Yeah. I'm just going to check and make sure that there's no butter pieces that have not incorporated, because those aren't going to be nice in your crust. I mean, you can see how it kind of clumps together. It like forms a ball. Nice. It's done. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. All right, so we are going to, this is a two-step baking process. I know, tear. But we are going to take about half of this and press it into the bottom of our dish. Now, you could weigh this if you wanted, but this is my home kitchen and I'm not feeling up to it. So, in we go. About half, that's gonna be our topping. So go ahead and just kind of press this into the bottom of your dish. You could 100% bake this in a 9x11, but I don't have one at this moment, so this is what we're working with. Okay, now it has been pressed and it is ready for the oven. The oven is preheated to 325. We're gonna bake this probably about 10 minutes, possibly 12. And then until it's just kind of golden brown, it's started to look matte, and then we'll add all the other things and bake again. She is out, the Carmelita, at least the base anyways. She's not totally done. It actually baked closer to about 20 minutes. So, next step, and the most exciting steps, are, other than eating, obvs, carameling. So you could, my caramel was actually kind of cold. She wasn't in the fridge, but my room is pretty cold. But the good news is that we're doing this right from the oven, and so this is still warm, so it really isn't a big deal. We're going to use about I mean, a half a cup will do her. There's about 3/4 of a cup in here, so we'll just kind of have to see how the chips fall, if you will. She's not looking terribly sexy at this moment, I know, and you're like, what? This isn't your usual work, but we are not done yet. No, I know. This is about a half a cup, which is going to be a nice, substantial layer, which is all that we really care about. Okay, so the nice thing is that now our caramel has kind of started melting in a way, because our Carmelita base is very warm. So we're just going to go ahead and it makes it easy to spread. You want to make sure that no bits have gotten too thin. You know, like everybody needs an equal amount of caramel. And now we are going to take our chocolate chips and sprinkle it on top. It is about 3/4 of a cup. There's a little bit more than that in here, so oops. And then we're going to take the top and crumble that on. You're like, wow, I see you. Yeah. You want some big pieces, some small pieces. You want to make sure that you get a good ratio of filling to base. All right, in she goes. So it's probably gonna bake another 20, 25. We want everything to be nice and bubbly. We want the top to be golden brown. We want the caramel to have like set a bit more, so it's gonna keep cooking and it's gonna be delightful. And so we're gonna put it back in. She's out. It baked about 30 minutes the second time around. You want to make sure that you get a nice golden brown on top, and that because you want the top to be crunchy and the bottom to be soft. So, and then you want that caramel to get all nice and like dark and golden on the outside. Yes. So, very excited about this. Sadly, she needs to cool. You should probably let it cool completely before you cut it, but we're not going to do that because I want to eat it now and I want you to see the caramely, yummy goodness. And all right, anyways, a couple hours. Let's let her cool. We can do it. It has cooled several hours. The top is cool, the sides are cool, the bottom's still a bit warm, but you know what? We are here for this, and we're not going to stress about it. So while it was still warm, so probably about 10 minutes after I took it out of the oven, I did kind of loosen the corners with a knife, and you're definitely going to want to do that if you didn't line it, because the caramel will just like cling for dear life, and you will have the darndest time getting it out. Just speaking from experience. So we are going to use our little levers, yes, that we so lovingly created, and we are going to pull it out. Now I'm going to see if I can't get her off of the, yeah, check us out. And then we have some choices to make. We need to decide how large we're going to cut this. There's the size that I want to cut it, which is just one large piece for me. And then there's the size that we should probably cut so that we don't feel sick. So I'm gonna do 9 pieces. So I'm gonna do about thirds, because like I'm feeling like I want to show you my skills here. All right, go ahead and get yourself a 3x3 here. And this is still a touch warm, so it will be easier to cut when it cools. You don't want it to be refrigerated though, it's gonna be very difficult to cut. All right, so the bottom is a nice caramel brown. You've got like the beautiful like chewy center, and then the layers of the caramel and the chocolate, and then your crunchy topping, and like, oh my gosh. OMG. I'm dying. It's so good. You have that like nice like oatiness, and that mixes with the light brown sugar, so it's just like soft and chewy, and then you've got the beautiful layers of the chocolate and the caramel, and then like the crunchy topping, and it's just like, whew. The chocolate is still hot, so it's like ooey and gooey. Angels are singing. I know it. It's everything.